place to find your new favorite band. My name is Jason. Today is November 17th, 2025, and we're coming at you from Chicago. Today we have a band that brings a sense of beauty to the word hardcore, combining catchy hooks, dreamy guitar melodies, and songs that share genuine meaning with a sense of nostalgia for a truly unique take on melodic hardcore. All the way from Sydney, Bloom. Take it away, guys.
Down the road, I'll be walking with my head turned, looking to this exact moment, wishing to return. Yearning for the light, can't escape the dark. Yearning for the light, can't escape the dark.
Hey guys, this has always been something strange for us here at Audiotree. Over 88% of you who watch our videos are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. So could we please ask you a favor? If you like the show and you like discovering new music and you want to support us, the free and simple way to do that is to just hit the subscribe button. And our commitment to you is that if you do that, our team will continue to get the best bands we can. We'll listen to your feedback. We'll book the bands you want to see on the show, and we'll continue spreading the word of live music to the world. Thank you so much. That was Out of Reach. Jono and Jared, you guys have voices of angels.
Thank you very much.
That was beautiful. So much beauty amidst the chaos here.
We do what we can. We kind of light and dark, yin and yang.
Makes a lot of sense. And there's a lot of talent in the room. And the reason I could tell that, not that there's always a lot of talent in this room. We always got great talent in this room. But when I see that almost everybody here has a microphone, we're locked in. You know what I'm saying?
Andrew, you going to take it for a spin today?
So you guys are about to head on a tour with Silverstein, Thursday, and Free Throw. That's a crazy sentence to say. You know what I'm thinking? Cool. You're talking about two big legacy bands right there. What does it feel like that you're about to embark on this?
It's almost like a pinch me moment. For us this year, we started the year touring with Silverstein and Thursday, and to be finishing the year Silverstein and Thursday again in America in some of the venues that we're playing, they're like by far the biggest we've ever played in our band's career. It's like an absolute honor and a privilege to be, scooped up by these bands, and they've been so supportive of us and given us a lot of opportunities. So we're chomping at the bit. We can't wait to get onto these shows.
What's it like being a heavier band compared to those on a tour like that?
It's fun. I think we're being the opening band as well, and being a band that plays breakdowns and has these sort of big metalcore moments. I think it catches a lot of people off guard. I think especially with Thursday and Silverstein's crowd being a little bit older, we're kind of the young bloods or the underdogs that are coming out, and we all look really young as well. So I think we catch people off guard with our style of music.
That's awesome, though. I think it's a great sound that kind of complements that whole touring bill, and it adds a little bit more into the mixture of it.
For sure.
So I want to go back to the early days of Bloom. Take me back to these days in Sydney where you guys are just kicking around the idea of maybe even trying to play music. What was the scene like in Sydney back then?
It was like we grew up on like the northern beaches of Sydney, and at the time it was like lots of youth centre all ages shows. With like there are a few kind of, at the time they felt like big bands that would be headlining, but realistically, like they probably weren't that big. But we were at youth center all ages shows like twice a month, like at least, which is like crazy because Sydney, like the all ages shows now are like few and far between. But yeah, we grew up going to like local shows and like met each other through starting bad bands when we were in high school. Incredible bands. And yeah, we like all finished high school and decided that we wanted to start a band that wasn't bad. And it was like these three, Jared, John and Andrew all went to high school together. Me and Jack went to different schools, but in the same area. And yeah, we just kind of found each other and started writing music. Yeah.
We worked out recently that at one of those shows, Jack's band, Andrew's band, and Ollie's band all played together on the same night. And that was like 3 years maybe before we actually met Jack. And then from touring together, looking at old posters, you're like, oh shit, Solar Flare played that show. Let's go.
I met Jared, Jono, and Andrew when we were making a short film, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So there was this youth film festival called 24/7 Film Festival. You need to make a movie in a day. And I was a friend of a friend. And I came in and helped them make the short film. And then on the night after, I think we're at the pub, and Jared and Jono were like, "Oh, we're thinking of starting a band." I was like, "Oh, I can play drums." So it seemed like it was all very serendipitous.
Well, you were wearing an American football T-shirt.
Yeah, I
when you
was.
first laid
I was
eyes on
also
you.
so hungover that day.
It all came together.
It's a perfect formula right there.
Yeah, that's it.
So melodic hardcore as a style, I feel like is so niche. You know what I mean? You don't see it a lot these days as much anymore. We have some big bands in the scene for sure that are still doing it, but I feel like when I'm hearing more modern hardcore bands, it's usually not in that style. What do you think made you guys want to go in more of a melodic direction with your music?
When we started, we were surrounded, like Australia specifically, and like South Australia specifically, had such a good handful of melodic hardcore bands that were like very true to the genre. Sleep Talk, Hindsight, and then like Perspectives from Sydney. Ambleside. Like there were so many bands, and that was the sound. And it kind of felt when we started as a band, our sound was a lot more of that ambient or like less metalcore tropey than it is today, and we were heavily inspired by the bands that were playing those youth center shows, those shows that we were going to that Ollie referenced before. Right as we started kicking off, a lot of those bands started to disappear, and there was a long time in Australia where we were one of the few like melodic hardcore bands that still existed. And I think just over the years with our own listening preferences, and as the band has developed and we've worked out our strengths, we've kind of occasionally deviated from that, but I think our roots in a lot of the songwriting is still kind of based in those like melodic hardcore chord shapes, and especially lyrically, and how we write our lyrics is still very heavily rooted in those bands that we discovered when we were 17, 18 and starting a band.
You couldn't have said it better than I could have extracted it from my brain.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. Not only that, but Jack, you're drumming. Lots of hardcore going on. You know, we got D beats going on. We have breakdowns going on. We have two steps going on. A lot of it is there. You know, your bare essentials, which I think is really cool to hear it in the context that you guys kind of provided in. It makes it for more of a unique experience, and I like that a lot with hardcore. And even that first song, Life Moves On Without Us, there was a section in there where I could totally see somebody spin kicking somebody to it. You know what I mean? And it's like you got this angelic chorus, which sounds so great, and then the super heavy part. It really does provide for a cool contrast within the music. So I wanted to ask you guys, when I was doing some research as well, I was looking up on your first album, Maybe in Another Life, which from my understanding is a concept record, which to me, a band starting out with a debut, that's a pretty big feat to try and undertake. What was the inspiration on trying to go for something more depthful with a debut release like that?
We spent a lot of time between our first EP, or our first proper EP release, In Passing, through to Maybe Another Life. We spent years, and we understood the weight of your first debut album, and I think we put in so much effort into so many elements of it because we knew that you could only release your debut album once, and there was a lot of weight that we put on it internally. And I think we all came together around this concept and this shared feeling that we have internally of like, oh, if I'd said something different in that conversation, or if I'd made this decision. And I think it's such a shared sentiment between the five of us that we kind of went, there's an idea here that we could kind of tell a narrative in a way, which is something a bit different for a debut as well. And I think because we spent so much time and dedicated, we perfected everything that we could to the best of our ability, we were able to flesh out concept, lyric, songwriting in a way that felt really intentional and considered. So yeah, it was a labor of love making that record, and I think you've acknowledged it. You kind of understand the conceptness of it all and how we got from A to B. It's cool that people are still picking up on those sort of things.
I love it. And honestly, I think that's a theme anybody can relate to. I mean, I've been going through some personal things too that I've related to a lot and had those similar thoughts where I wish I could have said something different or maybe tried something different. So I think that's cool. You guys were able to root a concept that's so human.
Yeah.
It's great. That being said, I'd like to hear some more songs from you guys.
Hell yeah.
Walk back with me and I'll show you everything. So hold my hand out front must be your sisters now. So long ago, we were stupid kids. Haven't talked since then. I wish we did. I'll keep you like a fly, trapped in ever in my mind. A memory, perfect divine. I'll come back from time to time. Now and then I start to miss it, the long drives and the way you spoke. And what's the point of reminiscing? The lights on, but you're not home. I'm still picking up the pieces, still screaming at your ghost. And not bad at keeping secrets. You want everywhere I go. We will never speak again. There's a beauty in that, our love preserved in time. All sins forgotten, yours and mine. I won't see you again. And there's a beauty in that, our love preserved in time. All sins forgotten, your silence. I'll keep you like a fly, trapped in ever in my mind. A memory, perfect divine. I'll come back from time to time. Our paths are divided. There's beauty in silence. You'll know where to find me. There's beauty in silence.
The Light We Chase. This right here, this record, sophomore record, brand new, just came out. And there's a lot to unpack here, guys. The first thing that came to my mind when I was doing research on this that stood out to me was that I read the entire inspiration for this record and the theme of it came from a conversation amongst you guys, just hanging out, talking about the past and about nostalgia. Can you guys elaborate on that a little bit?
Jack, you want to take it? This one, I feel like this one's all you.
I can take it, yeah. We were on the last time we were in the US with Miss May I and In Heart's Wake. We were thinking about the second album. The first one had been out for a couple of months, and we're just kind of playing around with, what are we going to do for album number 2? And we're talking in the RV and just across the whole tour because we had so much time together. Like it'd been the longest we'd been on tour together so far, I'm pretty sure. So we're all just kind of talking about Bloom, being in Bloom for a month straight, and we were talking about, the places that we grew up and how, we were saying before we used to go to local shows all the time, and there was this warm glow in the way that we were talking about the past, and I think that it kind of came off the last record is like getting lost in you're fantasizing about something kind of new or a bit foreign. And this idea kind of came from fantasizing about something that's already happened or something that had already come to pass or something you wanted to get back to, And yeah, it kind of developed really quickly because we had such a busy schedule for the remainder of last year and the beginning of this year. We went into the studio almost straight after the tour, right after Christmas on the 3rd of January, recorded a massive chunk of the album, a lot more than we thought that we could get done. And then we went straight on to an Australian regional tour just before we went to Europe again. Just before we came back, did more of the record, did another Australian tour. So we're all kind of in the source of the record for so long. So I think that because we were together and we were discussing it, it kind of came together really naturally over the time.
I feel like we also, as a group, we fall into the, nostalgia trap a bit. Like we always end up talking about the same things, about the same, because we have that like collective memory of growing up. And, you know, there are like elements of that on the album of like, that could be a negative thing, but also making that like such a positive thing of like, this is something that we always come back to and we always talk about because like it was such a positive place to grow up, and it was something that like brought us all together and brought us to music, and specifically heavy music. So I think like using that, like we're already talking about it so often, and it was like the perfect like leapfrog into something that I think a lot of people end up doing that as well. Like with your high school friends, you end up talking about high school and like those shared times. So using that, I think as well with Maybe Another Life, like what you were saying, is like people can relate to it. And I think that's what we try to do with kind of all of our stuff, is like we write about stuff that is relatable across. This is very specific to our hometown, but I think people can listen to it and take those kind of general themes and really apply it to their own upbringing, their own friend groups, their own hometowns as well.
I think as we like worked on the concept and fleshed it out, that first conversation Jack was referring to, we were really stuck in the mindset of like the past, like Belrose, these places that we grew up together. And I think the more time we worked on the concept, and I think this kind of is encapsulated in the title, The Light We Chase, is also the thing that's in front of you. And I think we also had that shared fear of like, we've been doing this band thing for like 8 years, and so much time has passed since we were the kids that started a band straight out of high school to like now as adults. And just that sort of that second guessing or fear of like the thing that I'm aspiring towards is constantly moving away from me. Have I made the right choices to get here? And always like falling back on that warmth of like the nostalgia of the past, the simple stuff where it all made sense and there wasn't obligations and so much more life experience. And I think it really kind of came together as like this yearning for the past and fearful for the future, and the light we chase can kind of be akin to both behind and in front of you. And the lyrically, it's very much written as like, I'm here right now, and these are the things that are influencing me and how I feel as a person.
That's really cool, because you almost have a duality built in there when you actually frame it that way. And that does ring very true. You know, I notice it in myself. I'll wax nostalgia all day about the good times, you know, the easy days. And then you look at the future, and it's like, especially in the world we live in now, you know, and things are not always the brightest. So I think that's something everybody could definitely relate to.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's really beautiful you guys bring to the table. And I think you guys just executed this record perfectly. Like everything from the image of it, the album cover, the colors involved with that design, all the way to like the song names, you know, like the songs you guys had just played, Belrose and Glen Street. I love it when I get a little bit of personal flavor of the actual band and the guys that are in it. Like I want to know something about your lives when I'm listening to the music. When do you think that kind of came into play to try and like express this whole idea through the music itself? When you were writing these songs, what do you think it was that made you guys want to kind of go, you know, write a song about a place like Belrose or something like Glen Street?
I don't think we were necessarily thinking about anything other than this is something the five of us have and is really special to us. It's very sentimental. We care very deeply. And sort of like what Jared was saying is like, these are positive memories. For the most part, they're all positive memories. And I think there wasn't really much consideration of you know, if we mention this place, are the fans going to get it? Like, I think there's so much context surrounding a lot of these songs. And like Jared was saying before, like they can be applied to anywhere. For us, it's just kind of cool to name drop 2085 Belrose in songs. The music video for Keep You, we got to film a portion of that inside the youth center that we've mentioned like 4 times in this interview. Hasn't been used as a music venue for like over a decade. And so there's a lot of things that we did on this record that were just for us. Like we didn't really care. In a way, we only wanted to name drop these places so heavily because we care so deeply about them.
I love that. And something when I was doing the research that I found this quote about the record where you guys were saying there's a lot of name drops of streets and places and X's cars parked out in the front. There's a nostalgic sweetness to it. Yeah. I want you guys to elaborate on that part about the X's car parked out front.
I think it's just like back when you're like 18 and you're just driving along the streets, and like, you know, because we grew up in that area and we went to high school in that area, like all these people that you've had friendships, relationships with, they're all still in that area. And, you know, you're driving the streets and you are going to see those people, and that might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. And I think, again, that's something that like it's not specific to Belrose. Like, obviously it happened to us, but that is something that can be applied to anyone. A lot of us have had that experience of driving past and seeing that reminder of a good memory, a bad memory. I think like throughout the album, it's like trying to find those specific touches that do make it personal to us, but do also kind of apply across a broad stream of people's, lives.
And it does. I mean, bro, literally, I've had that same exact moment happen in my life in the town I grew up in. I've been back there. I've seen somebody's car that I didn't want to see, and my decision was to keep driving.
Yeah, yeah, naturally.
That being said, guys, let's hear the last couple songs.
Inside my state of mind, expose me at my core. I can say
Alas, we have reached the end of our session. I would love to thank the camera crew, the audio crew, everybody here that made this possible today at Audiotree. I'd love to thank Bloom for the amazing performance. You guys killed it. Thank you so much. Lastly, I would like to thank our viewers. If you're watching this right now, make sure to hit that subscribe button because you might just find your next favorite band on our channel. Once again, my name is Jason. Thank you guys so much for your time, and we'll see you very soon. Peace.